Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Rostermania is officially underway and we have so many talking points to dive into today. NRG are completely blowing up their roster. Ares, s0m and FNS all going to be gone from the roster. FNS and s0m confirm they are looking for new opportunities as a duo. FNS wants to build, it seems, an entirely new team around himself. He wants to handpick the players. He says that he hasn't gone to Sentinels and trialed with them despite the rumours of the last few days. Ares also reveals a potentially mega duo that could be reforming after the most recent season. So much to get into today. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. This was funny as well from Sentinels, making fun of the Evil Geniuses merchandise they came out with that they actually apologise for. And e.g. say, we realise our champ merch design is not up to standard. In all transparency, we rush pulled it together as we were in the midst of switching merchandise providers. This is also a terribly written statement. It's just classic e.g. to somehow have won something and I'll just completely botch all the reaction to it. But, you know, back to celebrating for now. So they're going to do something better in the coming weeks. That's what they're trying to say. But if I actually read this, I'll have an aneurysm because it's just not particularly well written. Now, roster changes. Let's get into it because no time to waste. The Pacific region is doing interesting things. I don't exactly know what this, pertains to. We've got a couple of rumors coming around. I do wonder what teams like T1 might do. Also, whether DRX consider things. We know that PaperX are forced to make changes, so they're going to have to find at least a replacement to Jing. There's talk about Execute, Forsaken's brother, at least trying to make it work in Valorant. Whether he just gets the spot straight away on PaperX seems unlikely, but apparently there's going to be some really interesting changes going down over there, including SK Rossi gone from Global Esports. This he was good at the start of the year, and this is the source right now that seems to be implying that these things are happening, and Bazzi might be gone as well. So a couple of changes happening on the Global Esports side. I'm sure you guys are interested to know, and whether those are good or bad changes, I guess time will only tell. This was another big one confirmed though by Furia, that DG Zan is gone from the roster. The video they make implies that he's passed away, which he hasn't, but it's just, it doesn't imply that he's passed away, but like the way that they do this makes it like sound like all the black and white and everything. I thought it was like more of a sad video than it had to be, but he's all alive and well, so don't worry about it. But he was arguably their best player. I'm a little bit confused why Furia are making this call. I thought he was particularly good for their roster the most recent season. So I don't know what Furia are cooking up, whether they're thinking, there's been some rumours that maybe they try and get Wazera and build around from there, or just, maybe Furia are just completely cooked. Maybe they think they can get Aspas, but I don't know. But quite the decision to just straight up drop the guy who was arguably your best player for some time. So yeah, wonder what's next for him. That's an actual update that's been confirmed, because lots of the rumours right now are good rumours for sure, and probably rather accurate. But this is official now from the organisation itself. Now, there was also the rumour that CNED is leaving Na'Vi. Now, in his Twitch chat, it says he hasn't left the team, he's still on Na'Vi. But apparently, anyone that was commenting on this in his Twitch chat was just getting timed out and banned, and they were deleting all the comments on it. So, this could be a bit of a PR thing because of contractual reasons and potentially other reasons as well. So, I wouldn't be surprised if CNED is out of Na'Vi. I think it's actually very likely. But, for now, his Twitch chat says that he's still there, but I don't think that's going to be lasting for too much longer, and you can speculate where CNED might potentially go next. So let's talk NRG. This has been the big talking point of the last 24 hours. What is going on in that NRG camp? It does appear that Billy Gaming came in, they qualified for champions, only beat NRG, and knocked them out of the tourney. Obviously, both occasions just exited without really doing anything else, and have pretty much caused the collapse of this team, because it was announced, really. Now, it hasn't been announced by NRG themselves, but this is happening. I mean, unless s0m and FNS are really playing an absolute blinder here, which they're not, because we can see all the evidence of it in a second, they're not on NRG going forwards. Sam and FNS, so s0m and FNS, will not be on the starting NRG roster. They will focus on streaming for now until an ideal opportunity to compete presents itself, okay? So, pretty funny. So both s0m and FNS gone from NRG, which is really surprising, to be honest, just because, you'd have thought that if they wanted to build a new roster, they might well have kept, FNS on, and if they do want to change their in-game leadership situation, surely s0m is a man you keep, unless you want to get Marved back. But if you wanted to get Marved back, then you'd have thought maybe FNS would stay and you'd kind of rebuild the Optic Core again, as they did before, bring back Ye or something. But that's not happening either. So lots of big questions on this that people wanted answers from quickly from s0m and FNS themselves, and they give those answers on stream. So I wanted to share a couple of minutes here from mainly s0m stream, but words in this from s0m, from FNS, and also from Ardis on exactly what's happening there. I'll also share a quick clip from Jing right at the end, where he says that Sentinels they played in practice over the last couple of days during the World Championship were just playing so well that they would have won champs if the opportunity actually, well, provided itself. But FNS says, undisputedly, as far as he's concerned, he was not on those Sentinels trials and was not even invited to be part of them.
Playing Ascensions would just be a waste of my time.
It's true.
I would rather just wait for an opportunity with Sam, and then if a org is interested in letting me create the roster, then I will play. And until then, I will not play. If I say anything more, I get in trouble. I actually don't know what Ye is doing. I genuinely have no clue what Ye is doing. I know teams have been trialing, NRG included, which they should be. But I personally haven't been a part of any trials since we got back. Like, since the day we lost at Champs to now, I have not trialed for a singular team.
But you still want to compete? I do if the opportunity presents itself. If it's a good opportunity where I feel like we can win, and obviously money plays a factor.
Also, Sentinels has never directly approached me and asked me to trial or join their team or anything. So none of that's all fake.
This does not mean we are retiring. This does not mean we are retiring. I repeat.
Chat, it's just hard. Okay, I'm gonna be serious for a second. It's hard as to create a team and have an org back an entire team when orgs want to keep players on their old rosters as well. Like, orgs want to build lineups around like 2 or 3 of their like players, right? So even if they make changes, at most they'll make 1 or 2 changes. Whereas I want a whole ass squad. Like, I want to be able to create my team, which is what I did when I was on Envy. So if an org takes a chance on that and on me, then I will do it.
No.
Sam, they need you to say Wallah.
Wallah, chat. Wallah. I'm not trolling. We're not on the starting roster anymore. And for now, during this off season, John and I will be streaming 12 hours a day. And then if there comes an opportunity, we'll see.
I say this.
The
duo's coming back. The duo's coming back, bro. The duo's coming back. And I just say, Valentine and Ye are looking clean. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. The duo is coming back, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm gonna say, okay? Bro, listen.
You're funny, bro.
I'm doing this before Geddes does it. You know what I mean?
Take Geddes' job.
Yeah. Like, listen, I'm gonna start leaking everything, bro. I swear to God. Wait.
Wait, so what do you do? Do you plan on staying in EU?
Absolutely, bro. I'm not a chance I ever go back to NA. Bro, trust me right now, you will never ever see, bro.
Wait.
They would have won champs. They would. They actually would. If they played like that in champs, no way anyone win. They were really, really good. For real. I'm not even exaggerating. They were actually insane.
So there's a lot to unpack there, but it seems to be that NRG have made the decision to part ways with s0m and FNS for whatever reason. They want to make big changes. Ardis also basically said that, yeah, he's going back to EU. That was expected, but we did wonder how many other changes, if any, NRG might make if they were deciding to make the move for Ardis. They are making the move for Ardis. He's going back to EU. He also leaks, it seems, the plan with Ye and Vanity. Ye and Vanity were a duo on Cloud9 at the start of the season. They were both dropped for role issues, according to Cloud9, that I still don't fully buy, to be honest. And, you know, speaking of potential buying those players, then maybe Ye and Vanity could duo up again somewhere else. Could that be NRG? I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility, is it? Given the fact that they're potentially going to be rebuilding the team from the ground up and they need an IGL, but that could also be elsewhere. I think Ardis was also mentioning that, you know, players going to the Chinese League, or at least leaving NA and EU, and potentially going to APAC or even the Chinese League. Now, I don't know if he was just joking about that, but there was a lot of talk about it because, you know, there's probably certain players, maybe the likes of Benkai or something, especially like, you know, Singaporean players, that quite possibly do speak Mandarin and therefore could actually play in the Chinese League if they wanted to. I imagine most English-speaking players, that's going to be a bit of a challenge to go to the Chinese League, but, you know, we'll see. Maybe it's a possibility. But in the North American League, we've then got to get to what happens with s0m and FNS, and they were quite clear, really, on their perspective. FNS says that he was never in the trials with Sentinels, which is definitely confusing if that's not the case, but, you know, I guess it's definitely reasonable enough. The other options, if he wasn't there, were potentially Gen.G. We mentioned yesterday that Gen.G was apparently in that roster, and also there's been some rumours that Zellsis returning to Sentinels has been an option. So, yeah, we still don't know what that roster was that was cooking all the pro teams, that, you know, the championship winning teams just a few days ago, with presumably TenZ, Zekken, Sassy, Pankara, and an IGL. That, I don't imagine they brought Def back. We thought it might have been FNS. It wasn't, apparently. So maybe Gen.G was the man cooking it all up, currently of M80, maybe formerly of M80, if they were doing that well with Sentinels. But then you've got to wonder, right, what's going to go on with s0m and FNS? Because FNS seems to be making it clear he doesn't want to just join another team. Even if Sentinels gave him an offer, he doesn't want to join that team if he doesn't, you know, if he doesn't get to build it himself. Now that sounds to me quite optimistic, really. Like, the idea that FNS, some organization's going to come along and say, hey, like, John, come in, build your entire roster from scratch, and we're going to support you all every step of the way. That feels unlikely, especially mid-season. Organizations don't really do that in general, let alone when they've already built a team for the start of the year. So if there's a chance to do that, now is the chance. And if there's an organization that wants to give them that possibility, then, you know, are we really going to see FNS and s0m just sit on the sidelines for months, not play Ascension, you know, not do anything else and just wait for a better chance? Seems strange if that's what they decide to do, but that's definitely the implication, that they will wait for an offer where FNS and s0m can go together to another team, whether that's 100 Thieves or something, and where they get the choice to build what they want to do around them. And maybe there are some organizations that could make that happen, but, you know, that's a pretty, you know, it's a big ask, I think, from FNS to make that occur. But definitely the implication is he's not going to Sentinels, and NRG need to have a major rebuild. I mean, they're left with Victor and Crashies right now with Coach Chet, so I'm sure they're doing an awful lot behind the scenes to rebuild a new roster. Who's their IGL going to be? As I say, is Ye and Vanity a realistic possibility to come into that team? And even Zekken says, you know, Champs is done. I can watch people be confidently wrong about roster moves. And he also says, streaming on Twitch right now, Pankara is here as well. So, you know, a little bit of implication that Zekken Pankara still is a thing over at Sentinels. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Just wanted to go through a couple of rumours of trials that have been had, because we think for Cloud9, Net, potentially Bang, even like LFT Oxy, and, you know, some other players were trialed with Cloud9. Apparently NRG have trialed all of these players. Marved, Leaf, Zeppa, Ye, Narrate, Trent and Valin. And then Sentinels, well, FNS says that he didn't, but maybe Gen.G and Zellsis. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. That doesn't really put us particularly any closer to knowing what these rosters are going to be, but it does give us a better idea of who's not going to be on certain teams. So very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Just wanted to mention this quickly from Will Miner because I went through most of the top pick rates for the top agents, but after Cypher you couldn't see any more on VLR. So the rest of the pick rate was at Yoru, then Neon at 3% with Phoenix, Reina, Gecko, Sage at 1%, and Deadlock not even picked at all. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.